Now, staying on the subject matter of the former Prime Minister, Amama Mbabazi, tonight we discuss his options. We did bring up this subject last week, but I thought we'd extensively discuss it today with Andrew Mwenda. You're watching Newsnight, the old man of the clan, Andrew Mwenda, and also CEO of the Independent magazine. Andrew, welcome. Very quickly, so what happens? What next for if you were Amama Mbabazi? What would you be thinking of doing next?
You see, yesterday we discussed and I told you that if you're in Museveni's shoes,
Yes.
you have removed him as Prime Minister and you suspect he's
angry. And you're going after him as Secretary General.
You will have to go with it. I do not know whether the President has any other option except to go after him.
So what would he do in his current state as Secretary General of the party?
Let me just give it the context.
Yes.
The President must have removed Mbabazi because he's convinced that he wants to run against him. So he removes him as a defense mechanism.
Yes.
He cannot remove him as Prime Minister and keep him as Secretary General controlling the party machinery. So he must follow him there. So if you are Mbabazi, what do you do? It depends upon your objective. It is possible, A, that Mbabazi has presidential ambitions and he intends to run against the president. In that case, what Mbabazi does in response has to be different from if the allegations that Mbabazi wanted to run against the president for the leadership of the party and the country, and this is not true. So Mbabazi has to act differently. So let me begin with the second option. Let me assume, which is a likelihood, that this claim that Mbabazi was trying to challenge the president in his leadership of the party and the leadership of the country come 2016 is actually not true. What would you do as Mbabazi? It means that intelligence organizations and your enemies inside NRM have tarnished your name before your own friend and ally for 50 years or 40 years they have been together. And it is up there for Mbabazi to prove that his detractors are wrong. How would he do that? If I were him, A, I would resign the job of Secretary General because exactly that's why Museveni is going to attack him. But before I resign it, I would call a press conference and announce that I don't have any interest in being president. I don't have interest in challenging the president in the leadership of the party. Once he does that and he says whoever is campaigning for me must be campaigning for himself, I am not interested, then I would also announce I'm resigning in order to remove the bad blood. You see, right now, if the president thinks you're going to run against him and you're controlling the party machinery as Secretary General, there's already tension. To say we need the party to be united, if people think I'm creating this, I am resigning so that the president has a free hand to appoint an acting Secretary General who is amenable to him. He resigns Secretary General. He tells the public he's not interested in any election. And then 3, he writes a private letter to the president explaining this and what he has taken as public action in order to reconstruct the confidence between the two of them. If Amama does that, he's the next Speaker of Parliament, he's the next Chief Justice. I can assure you.
Let's discuss the fact that
he's the next Speaker or the next Chief Justice, because the final person on this matter is President Museveni to believe that he is not a threat to him. Now, but let me assume actually Mbabazi wants to run for president.
Okay.
If he wants to run for president, I think that he needs to make his intentions clear and break with the NRM, because there is not a single chance in hell that Museveni will allow Mbabazi to contest against him in the party. They will have all maneuvers to ensure that not to just block him from entering Namboli, they will suspend him from that party in time for him not even to mount any challenge. I don't think that Museveni is capable of accepting the risk of a contest between him and Mbabazi inside the NRM. Even if Mbabazi had a 10% chance of success, Museveni will not even accept that 10% chance. So he has to be nominated and opposed.
Interesting. But you offer us 2 options, whether he wants to contest and when he doesn't want to contest.
But we don't know.
But all
he has
options,
not been very clear.
All options on the table are clearly that you'd say he should resign his position as Secretary General and take either or. Yeah. But question is,
you see, right now his position inside the NRM is untenable.
True.
As Secretary General, that job he needs to leave it in order. If he's still an NRM cadre, he needs to remove the tension between the President and the Secretary General by just resigning that post.
Fantastic.
And if he does not, if he wants to run for president, he still needs to quit NRM and organize a counter move against the NRM from outside. I don't think you can mount a challenge inside NRM. All the levers of control and power inside NRM are in the hands of Museveni. But
let's make one thing very clear. And I saw one of the papers pick it up, one of the dailies pick it up today, saying that the president believes he can take up the position of the Secretary General and actually do his job, while he's also chairman of the party. Amama Mbabazi has said before, even at various fora, that one, he had not made up his mind on that, or he had actually not spoken out on whether he's going to contest the presidency. But he had said previously, because the sacking is based on the pretext that as Prime Minister, he could not hold the position of Secretary General. So they have relieved him of one, so he can concentrate as Secretary General, which is what he had been told from the beginning. So, why? And he raised this. He said the president is the president of Uganda, commander-in-chief of the army, chairman of the NRM party, and he's able to do all these duties. And what was wrong for him to occupy both positions?
I think in making those arguments, Mbabazi is being technical rather than being political. Because to be political is to understand. You see, I'm trying to put myself in Museveni's shoes and Mbabazi's shoes.
Yes.
How would I act if I was in that position? You see, if you're in Museveni's shoes, why would you believe that Mbabazi wants to run? When people in Chankwanzi passed a resolution of a sole candidature, Mbabazi signed accepting that there should be a sole candidate.
I think he was number 78.
In Chankwanzi. Yes, he was number 204.
204. Yes.
But he signed. And I felt he diffused his enemies there. First of all, they ambushed him and he diffused them. But when they went to the the SEC meeting, Central Executive Committee meeting, Mbabazi's wife raised an objection, saying she does not agree with that resolution of Chankwanzi. One, because the caucus cannot direct SEC, and then SEC had a discussion on this matter, and the members of SEC said, okay, we will not adopt the decision of the caucus, but we will note it. So they noted it. When they went to the caucus meeting where the president was not, and Mbabazi was addressing it as Secretary General, he said SEC rejected the Chankwanzi resolution, which was a misstatement of the fact. So Muhwezi stood up and challenged Mbabazi and said, no, SEC did not reject the proposal, neither did it adopt it. It noted it. Do you see? But in that meeting of the SEC,
yes,
the members of SEC asked a direct question. They asked Jacqueline a direct question. You, Jacqueline, what are the specific issues in the resolutions at Chankwanzi that you are against? She said, well, I reject this resolution that there should be a sole candidate of NRM. In principle, she's right. NRM is not a monarchy, and the positions, even that of chairman, should be open to everybody. So she said she rejects that. In principle, I agree with her. But the political message she was sending is that she does not think there should be a sole candidate who is Museveni. So she must be having an alternative candidate. Who is the alternative candidate? Of course, her husband. So if you're in Museveni's,
sure about that. Yes.
Yes, but if you're in Museveni's shoes, you can, and Jacqueline Mbabazi, who is a member of SEC also, as leader of the Women's League, is rejecting the resolution of a sole candidature. And intelligence is telling you Mbabazi wants to be the other NRM candidate. What would you interpret?
Well,
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've run out of time. It could be Okotogong, it could be Bukenya. The list goes on and on.
Jacqueline fighting for Bukenya.
Well, that was Newsnight.